All right, so this is the lecture for October 27th on chapter 23 and chapter 24. There's actually no class today on October 27th. I have a mistake on the syllabus. There's no class today, October 27th. There will be class and a quiz on November 3rd. So again, there's a mistake on the syllabus. No class on October 27th, but there will be class next week, November 3rd, and there will be a quiz on chapter 23 and chapter 24. So I recorded this PowerPoint so you can view it and you can hear me. So these lectures is on the measurement, and we start with the metric system. You see the metric system and the prefixes here. You all studied this in school. And why is the metric system easier? Because you see it's done on base 10. And you see the prefixes here that get larger and the prefixes that get smaller going down. It might be important to print out this chart or bring this for the quiz. You should know this, but there's no reason to memorize it because you can always use the chart. You also have the English system. It's very complicated. Most of us have studied this in school also. There are only 3 countries in the world that use the metric system, obviously the United States being one. It'd be fascinating if you could find out the other 2, but you would just Google it. If you put down the other 2 on your quiz next week, maybe I'll give you extra credit. And you see the craziness of the English system, which doesn't use base 10 and has what seems to be just some random relationships between feet, yard, mile, and things like that. It seems completely arbitrary and much more complicated, and that's why most of the world does not use it. When we think about measurement, we use it to do things like this. We use it to find the perimeter, where we're adding all the sides of a polygon is the perimeter of the polygon. In this case, you have a 5-sided figure, and to find the perimeter, you add all the sides up. Circumference is the same thing as perimeter. It's a word for a circle. To find the perimeter of a circle, we call it the circumference. You may remember the formula. It's 2 pi r, or take the radius of the circle, multiply by pi and multiply by 2. You could also restate that formula as pi times the diameter of the circle, because 2 times the radius is the diameter. By the way, something you may not know here is that you know there's 360 degrees in a circle, but you may not know that a degree can be broken down. Like 1 degree is made up of 60 minutes. And 60 minutes, each minute is made up of seconds. So basically there are fractional parts of a degree. So example, you could have a angle which is 14 degrees, 7 minutes. That's a 1 hash right there is a minute. And the 2 hashes are the seconds. So this would be 14 degrees, 7 minutes, and 10 seconds. It's about 14 and what? About 14 and a third, or 14 and a fifth. It's about 14 and a very small fractional part of a degree. And we did not study this earlier. The book says we did, but we didn't study this earlier because I went out of order. And we talk about circles. And in this central angle right here in blue is the central angle of the circle. The central angle of the circle is equal to the arc that it intercepts. So this arc is 1/3 of the circle because the circle is 360 degrees. And therefore this central angle, the central angle is at the center of the circle, is equal to this arc. For an inscribed angle, the inscribed angle is the angle that is on the circumference of the circle. The inscribed angle is 1/2 of the arc. So you see the arc again, the central angle on that arc is equal to it. And the inscribed angle, the angle that's on the circle, is 1/2 of the arc. So that's it for chapter 23. Now chapter 24 is a little bit repeat of the similarity we did a couple weeks ago. This part is area. How do you find the area of a shape? Well, these particular shapes, you could just put them into boxes, put them into squares, and count all the squares that are inside, each square being 1 unit, 1 square unit. For this triangle here, you got to remember the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height, so you could count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't count the dots, count the segments. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 by 7, so you go 4 by 7 is 28, and 1/2 of that is 14. So that's how you find the triangle. Be careful on one that looks like this in part D. The height of this one is still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That height is still 7. This is the height. The height is still the perpendicular distance. All of these triangles, in fact, have the exact same height of 7. You should try E on your own. E is much harder. One way to do E is find the area of the whole rectangle and take away these white triangles. It might be easier to find the whole rectangle and then take away the area of each of these smaller triangles, white triangles outside. Example 2, surface area. We did briefly talk about surface area. Surface area is the area of all the surfaces. To make it simple, you have to add up the area of every surface. So the area of this surface right here, and just count this as units, you can count this as 1, 2, 3 by 2. 3 by 2 is 6 here, but there's another 6 on the other side. And over here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, so you have 12 up top, therefore 12 on the bottom. And over here you have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, so 8 here and 8 on the other side. So you have 2 6s, 2 12s, and 2 8s, and if you add that up you'll get 52 as the surface area of this prism. Well, we talked about scale factor a lot. So if this original 1 centimeter cube, 1 centimeter square, what's the scale factor here? This is 3. And what's the scale factor here? This is 2. And then we did talk about this a lot. When we talk about volume, you have to cube the scale factor. So if the original cube is 1 and the scale factor of this new cube is 2, then you have to multiply by 2 cubed, or 8. If the scale factor is 3, you have to multiply by 3 cubed, or 27. We did talk about that. That was on the quiz a week ago. It was also on the midterm, and you're going to see it again on the quiz next week. And I think this is the last example. This is surface area scale factor. So surface area is not cubed, surface area is squared, because surface area is a square measurement unit. So if this one is 2 by 3 by 2, as it says up here, and it's a scale factor of 2. So 2 by 3 by 2, 2 by 3 by 2, and a scale factor of 2. So the surface area of this document, of this rectangular prism is 32. How do you find that? You find the area of every surface. 4 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there, 6, 6, and 4 is 16. Double that is 32. How do you find a new one? Well, since the scale factor is 2, you're going to square the scale factor, because we're talking about surface area, and multiply it by 32. If you're going to find the volume, you're going to cube the scale factor. And why 12? Because the volume of this thing is 12. 2 times 3 times 2 is the volume, and this time you're cubing the scale factor. You will see one like that on the quiz. Finally, you've seen this slide before. If the scale factor is k, then the areas and the surface area you multiply by k squared, and the volumes you multiply by k cubed. That's it. And again, there's no class on October 27th. I will see you on November 3rd. Email me if you have any questions. Thank you.